The Software Engineer Review. The world of software engineering is often described as a place where logic, creativity, and problem-solving come together, but what most people never fully understand is how profoundly it shapes not only the digital tools we use but also the minds and lives of the engineers who build them, and this deeper, more human side is exactly what the Software Engineer Review seeks to explore, capturing the journey of individuals who sit behind glowing screens and quietly build the invisible foundations of modern society. Every software engineer begins as a curious learner, often uncertain, sometimes overwhelmed, yet driven by a fascination with how machines think, how systems behave, and how small pieces of code can evolve into powerful structures that move the world forward. And in the pages of this imagined magazine, you would find stories of engineers who began with no guidance and barely any confidence, who typed their first lines of code with shaky fingers, who struggled through bugs, failures, confusion, and countless moments where nothing made sense, but who kept pushing until understanding slowly emerged like light breaking through a fog. The Software Engineer Review would tell you about nights when engineers sat alone with their laptops, debugging tirelessly while the world slept, solving problems that no one else would ever know existed, and how each solved bug felt like a small victory, a spark of pride that whispers, "You're improving," even if no one else is there to witness it. It would explore the emotional side of engineering, the frustration of chasing a bug for hours only to discover it was caused by a missing semicolon, the triumph of successfully deploying a system after weeks of setbacks, the strange mixture of exhaustion and satisfaction that comes after completing a project that at first seemed impossible, and the silent joy of realizing that the tools you build will help thousands, maybe millions, of people who will never know your name. In a world where digital transformation accelerates daily, software engineers feel the pressure of staying updated with new languages, frameworks, tools, and security demands, and the Software Engineer Review would shed light on the constant need to adapt, to learn faster than technology changes, to remain humble enough to accept that even a senior engineer must always be a student, because the landscape never stops evolving. It would highlight the teamwork that holds modern development together, the quiet power of a supportive colleague who reviews your pull request with kindness, the way late-night debugging sessions turn strangers into close friends, the relief that comes when a senior dev gently explains a concept you've been struggling with for days, and the way good teams make even the hardest projects feel achievable. Beyond the technical world, this long narrative would explore the inner lives of software engineers, how they balance work and personal time, how burnout silently creeps into their routines, how creative energy fuels breakthroughs, how imposter syndrome whispers doubts into their minds even when they are excellent at what they do, and how the community through conferences, mentorship, open source collaboration, and shared passion helps them overcome those doubts and grow into confident problem solvers. The Software Engineer Review would also tell stories of innovation. Moments where engineers change the world almost accidentally, like the student who created a small tool to fix her homework workflow and accidentally built a startup, or the developer who joined a hackathon just for fun and ended up contributing to a project that improves accessibility for disabled students worldwide. It would dive deep into ethical questions too, the responsibility of writing secure code, the danger of poorly tested systems, the moral weight of algorithms that affect people's lives, and the ongoing struggle to balance innovation with humanity, safety, and fairness. And perhaps the most important part of this long reflective paragraph is the message that being a software engineer is more than a job, it is a journey of constant improvement, curiosity, resilience, and vision, a path where mistakes are teachers, challenges are stepping stones, and growth is endless. As the imaginary pages of the Software Engineer Review unfold, readers would gain insight into the reality behind the screen, the quiet persistence of learning each day, the courage it takes to try again after failure, the discipline required to turn complex ideas into simple, elegant solutions, and the profound satisfaction of knowing that with each line of code, engineers are shaping the future of communication, business, education, entertainment, medicine, and nearly every part of modern life. It would show that behind every app, website, game, or system we rely on, there is a person who once struggled, once felt lost, once doubted themselves, but chose to keep going, and through that persistence became part of the invisible network of creators who are pushing humanity forward. And as the long hour of reading this paragraph unfolds, the message becomes clear: software engineering is not just about writing code, it is about solving real problems, imagining what doesn't yet exist, collaborating with others, adapting to constant change, and believing that even the smallest contribution can spark something meaningful. Just as this narrative continues without pause, the life of a software engineer also continues, always learning, always evolving, always building, always searching for a better, faster, safer way to turn ideas into reality, and in this ongoing journey lies the true story that the Software Engineer Review celebrates, the story of people who may not always be seen, but whose work shapes everything we see, touch, and experience in the digital age.